Have you ever wondered who boxing's most ruthless champion is? Known as El Gran Campeón, Chávez was a powerful puncher and pressure fighter who was unbeaten in his first 88 fights. But what makes him truly remarkable is his ability to dismantle the Philly shell defense, a notoriously difficult style to break through. Today we'll explore how Chávez used his ring-cutting skills, precise punch selection, and defensive prowess to defeat Roger Mayweather and reveal the inner workings of the Philly shell. Stick around to discover what it takes to become a boxing legend like Julio César Chávez. Boxing has seen some of the most incredible fighters and coaches of all time, and the Philly shell defense is a testament to that. George Benton, also known as the mayor of the North Philadelphia, was not only a skilled fighter himself, but also the mastermind behind the Philly shell. Although Benton was drafted into the Korean War when he was making a run at the middleweight title, he was made Army boxing coach and soon taught Americans from around the country his tricks, helping them win tournaments worldwide. While Benton trained numerous champions, the most famous disciples of the Philly shell came from Michigan. The Mayweathers are a well-known family in the boxing world, with Floyd Jr. being one of the most famous boxers of all time. However, his uncle, Roger Mayweather, was the first champion in the family and the one who passed on his knowledge to Floyd Jr. Despite not being as athletic as his nephew, Roger had something that Floyd Jr. didn't: power. Nicknamed the Black Mamba, Roger retired with 59 wins on 35 knockouts, winning titles in multiple weight classes. Although he didn't have Floyd Jr.'s perfect record, Roger was fearless and fought Julio César Chávez twice, proving his mettle in the ring. Chávez is widely regarded as the greatest Mexican fighter to ever live. Known as El Gran Campeón, Chávez was a pressure fighter who always kept himself in shape to keep applying pressure all night long. Despite his stumpy build, Chávez had a powerful punch and was a refined and coordinated brawler. He was unbeaten in his first 88 fights, and 2 of his victories were against Uncle Roger. Chávez was able to open up Roger's Philly shell defense as if shucking an oyster, proving his prowess as a boxer. Today we take a look at the inner workings of Roger's Philly shell and how Chávez disassembled it to reveal its inner workings. The Philly shell is a defense that has a few defining characteristics that are consistent throughout. A high power handle is used in conjunction with a low lead hand in this position. He's gotta get inside. Because of the low lead, users of the Philly shell can cover more ground and experiment with different beginning strikes. Because the lead hand is placed behind the opponent's line of sight, it is quite unlikely that they'll see it in time to mount a defense against it. As a result of this trade-off, your lead hand is no longer effective at protecting your head, but it does cover the lead side of your body just by being in that position. The lead shoulder is used in the Philly shell to either deflect or absorb the right hands that are being delivered by an opponent. By rotating the leading shoulder inward, you're able to shut the open punching path and ideally drive your opponent's punch past you, which will leave them off balance and vulnerable to attack. Because of the same motion that packs up a right hand, this is the bread and butter of the Philly shell, and it is also the reason why so many fighters who use the Philly shell are such excellent counterpunchers. As a result of the emphasis placed on the lead shoulder, practitioners of this style engage in combat from a bladed posture. This helps to expand the style's range of motion and enhances its defensive effectiveness. The more bladed your stance is when you fight from it, the smaller of a target you present yourself as, but the less likely it is that you'll be able to slip away from the side you're facing. The use of a head movement is stressed in order to land clean counters. When playing defense, the right hand is brought up high in order to either intercept oncoming jabs or absorb left hooks in order to respond with a short or straight counter on the back end of exchanges. Left hooks to the liver can be avoided by bending the right elbow down and away from the target. Chávez understood how it functioned, and he recognized that Roger was a taller man who possessed a greater reach. He needed to get closer to the nut before he could start cracking it. Chávez is considered to be one of the best ring cutters in the history of the sport. He was aware of the ring's geometry and knew how to enter at an angle in order to reduce the available area. In the same manner, as a space shuttle, he calculated orbits on the fly, possessed the ability to slip and move underneath Roger's lengthier, more direct blows in order to catch, parry, and roll attacks while he closed the distance between them. His defense from the conventional high guard was really gorgeous, even though he fought as a swarmer. When Chávez was within striking distance, he would throw with the hand that Roger was using to circle the target. Chávez's unwavering adherence to this one fundamental idea during the first match is what ultimately led to the swift conclusion of the battle. Roger was attempting to build distance and get back into open space as he emerged from the confines of the ropes. Chávez whipped him around the ring like a mamba that got mixed up with a mongoose. The brilliance of Chávez's game plan was revealed in the second battle when it was put into action. His ring cutting and distance management are both as impressive as they've always been. The most significant issue for Mayweather was the poor punch selection he displayed throughout the fight. His defense was excellent coming into the fight. I think it's a little early to tell because Mayweather is kind of an interesting contrast, said McGregor. Mayweather has come a long way from his early days, but Chávez has been the one to take the initiative. He overused his left hook in the closer range, which forced Mayweather to keep his poisonous right hand in his corner on. I believe one of the defenses that Jim may use in this bout is to question whether Mayweather has been too busy avoiding naps to actually give out any of them. It was once remarked by a sage that one should not hook with a hooker. Chávez was well aware that delivering a straight 1-2 with his right hand would leave him vulnerable to Roger's preferred reply. Therefore, in order to gain access to the upper floor, he landed in a disguise and used a few workarounds. When Chávez sought to hit a right, he would either feint to throw off Mayweather's timing on the shoulder roll, or move in at an angle to get around the shoulder altogether. Chávez's strategy was to land more right hands. Chávez does not back up as the countdown approaches the third round. He was sent straight down to the body and hooked by moving under the elbow to land on the exposed kidney behind the low lead hand in bladed posture. He also sent straights down to the body. Mayweather was very close to receiving another point deduction. Both combatants are landing effective punches. Mayweather scored a knockout with a right hand. Chávez's double-ups were yet another spectacular aspect of his offensive game. After firing a shot at the body, he would proceed to the upper level on the same side.
Mayweather setting the punch now. Under the 30-second mark we go in this first round.
He can improve his accuracy by switching between different levels of assault. When it comes to serious with the right in the early portion brightly, Mayweather's bodywork starts to weigh on him more and more with each more mile he travels. The more Chávez closes off the ring and gets to impose his game, which is his grappling game, the more applause there is. There is no question that Julio is one of the top grapplers in the boxing sport. He was able to free his hands and throw as much as possible in and around his gloves, make it look like a Philly coffin instead of the famous Philly shell. In the boxing match between Chávez and Roger, Chávez was landing almost half of his punches, while Roger struggled to throw any punches. As the mid-rounds approached, Roger's physical condition began to deteriorate, and he started to get bruises. The match turned ugly, and at one point, Roger's trainer had to intervene to prevent Chávez from attacking him. By the 9th round, it was evident that Roger was going to lose, and Chávez's left hook seemed to be the final blow. Eventually, the fight was stopped, and Chávez celebrated by hitting himself in the groin while on his trainer's shoulders. While it is possible to talk extensively about boxing techniques and strategies, there are some aspects of the sport that cannot be conveyed without experiencing them firsthand. Chávez's exceptional physicality and intangible qualities are some of the factors that set him apart as a great boxer. Therefore, the most effective way to overcome any defense is to either be Julio César Chávez or to strive to become as skilled as he is. Julio César Chávez's legacy as one of the greatest boxers of all time will forever be etched in the sport's history. He was a master at breaking down defenses, including the notoriously difficult Philly shell style. Chávez's unwavering determination, precision punching, and ring-cutting skills have left an indelible mark on the world of boxing. We hope you enjoyed this journey through his unforgettable career and gained insights into what it takes to become a boxing legend. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of sports and beyond.